only reason that I'm here talking to you today is because of the Canadian healthcare system, which saved my life. On or about June, beginning of June, first week in June, I didn't feel right. I had stomach pains that were kind of severe. And having gone through various medical problems in the past, I figured, well, it's not that serious, it'll pass. Later on that night, I was in bed, got up to go to the washroom, and promptly collapsed. I was out of it. My wife called the ambulance. They rushed me to Victoria Hospital, which is a modern, well-equipped hospital with some of the best doctors in the world. And it was discovered that I had had an aneurysm burst, an abdominal aneurysm burst. And it turns out that 80% of people that this happens to, without being in a hospital setting, don't make it. So I'm living proof, I guess, that 20% of us who've undergone this can survive. They sliced me from here to here, or down there, and I don't remember much of it, and except waking up in the ICU a couple of days later, dealing with delirium, post-operative delirium, which happens to a lot of people. So I was basically in a dream state for a few days, hallucinating. The memories are foggy yet terrifying. But anyway, it's supposed to take me 8 weeks to regain my strength after this operation, and it's been 6 weeks now. And I still have difficulty walking. However, I'm determined to try and make a go of it for another few years. It seems that the world is falling apart along with this old body, so I cannot complain too much, but I will anyway, because that's my nature to complain. At least it was. Sometimes when you have an experience that's, you know that your time is short, you begin to realize the important things. What's really important in life is not me, it's not selfish pursuits. What's really important is the people who love you. I'd like to thank all the people that have subscribed to me over the years, and I know the sporadic Vegematic show, right? Well, old veg is now sliced and shredded, and so as I make this return to my channel, I would very much like to thank everybody. There's been so many kind words, and sure, I've had trolls and people who've said nasty things, but they're in the vast minority and compared to some of the wonderful people that I have met on the internet. So after undergoing this ordeal, I suppose I thought of all my American friends and without health care, and wondering what this experience would have cost them, because I'll tell you what it cost me. It was $45 as a partial share of the ambulance price is what I paid for 2 weeks in the hospital, much of it in intensive care. And I look at the countries that have, like Canada, that have fortunate enough to have Medicare for all, And it's something that is a human right. When you're going to die without it, it begins to really get to you to realize there are people who don't have the advantages that I have being Canadian. I live in a first world country. I have a little house and a vehicle that I'm just beginning to be able to drive again. Watch out. I'm just so lucky, and we as North Americans generally are pretty lucky. There's some horrendous problems in the world right now, and it's very difficult to remain positive when you see half of the North American continent on fire, and the insistence on the oligarchs of destroying our planet no matter what, no matter how fast it burns, they'll burn it up faster. And you think about these things, and your own problems can shrink to pretty minor insignificance, because let's face it, in comparison to the suffering that much of the world is just going through, horrendous suffering, we in the West are privileged, and we don't often think of how privileged we are to live in first world countries, and how privileged I am to have Medicare for all in this country. And Americans, you guys got to fight like hell to get it. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be times when the established order will fight back harder than anything else. But once you have it, you will never lose it again, because no politician would ever dare take it away. Oh, they try nibbling around the edges and cutting it back here and there, but ultimately it's still there for us as citizens, because we have decided as Canadians that that's important and that's worth it. And having this privilege makes me want to see all of my friends in the US have this privilege too, of living in a civilized country.